would suit you.
I see. I understand.
Would the dog be around people or children often?
My grandchildren visit on weekends. They're gentle, but I want a dog that's patient with them. And I don't like a lot of barking. The neighborhoods, you know.
You can definitely find a quiet, patient dog. We assess all of them for temperament and before they go home.
That would be very lovely.
Are you thinking of a puppy, an adult dog, or something older?
I suppose a puppy would be lovely, but I worry I couldn't keep up with training one. What do you think?
Honestly, an older dog might suit you better. They're usually already house-trained, much calmer, and they really need eat homes like yours.
I see.
Have you thought about the cost of caring for a dog? Food, vet bills, that sort of thing?
I've set aside a bit of money for vet bills and food, but I'm on a pension. I hope that's enough.
Honestly, for a small, healthy dog, the running costs are quite manageable. We can also point you towards low-cost vet clinics if needed.
That is manageable.
Is there anything you're worried about before we pick a dog?
I want to do the right thing by the little one. I don't want to take a dog home and then realize I made a mistake. How do I know I'm picking the right one?
That's exactly why we do these interviews. Based on what you've told me, I think I've already have a few dogs in mind who I think would really thrive with you.
Ah, is that so? Well, then I will wait here with my dear.
Well, she wants a small, low-maintenance dog who she can handle easily and is fairly healthy and playful. I think Ink Pomni, our little Pomeranian friend from earlier, would make a great companion.
I will take good care. Thank you, young one.
Now we finish the dialogue and head home for the day. A, to the shop. Time to buy some actions. All the actions. Can't have enough of them. I need them. I need them all. Okay, that's enough. I'm good. And that was our game so far. And now I will turn it back over to our amazing artist Lorelei for art direction.
So in art direction, we decided to focus everything on emphasizing the cuteness of the game. Mainly to bring a sort of like ironic twist to the grim subject matter, but also the attachment to the dogs through their very cute design, the light pastel colors, and the soft homemade styles of like crayon pastels, the medium, and paints. We also wanted to focus a lot on like visuals and body language and communicate more there rather than through text. So we invested a lot in using pictures to communicate needs for the dogs. For example, the thought bubbles and images such as like the food bags and the tennis balls for when they're hungry or want to play. And now, we got a little secret to show y'all. Maybe not all owners can be trusted.
That was uncanny. Weird. We better watch out for those owners. Anyways, before we finish, I'll be talking about our future plans and goals for our build game. And then we'll be working more on improving the narrative, emotional design of the game. Also, we'll be introducing more dogs with stories each with their own personalities and experience. And also, yeah, sorry. For the next steps, we'll be introducing more dogs, more interactions with the dogs, more narrative, well-written and compelling narratives that will help you create more bonds with the dogs. And I want to thank our team members that helped develop this amazing game. And for the future, we'll be working hard for creating more emotional narration in the game.
Thank y'all so much.
Any questions?
Now for our Q&A session.
Ah, yes.
Please feel welcome to answer questions. You.
Will there ever be a multiplayer option?
Unfortunately not at this
It's the
time.
first semester, so.
Maybe DLC.
Will there be multiple owners will be added?
Yes.
Yeah, afterwards. we will.
Yes. Each with our own personality and dynamics.
What other games did you guys take inspiration from, maybe visually and also just the concept of the game design in general?
So there was a lot of games that we drew inspiration from. Artistically, I drew a lot of inspiration from a mobile game called Pet Buddies.
And mechanically, for the interview phase, we're kind of using a papers, please kind of function.
Any other questions?
And we wanted to give the atmosphere and also the feeling about Animal Crossing, since we're like handling animals, dog. Yeah.
Yes.
There seems to be multiple choices for how you interact with the potential adopters of the dogs. Do you guys ever plan to add potentially different endings to, like, you know, an overarching story?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to.
So there are different endings. You can give dogs to the wrong owners. You can fail an adoption interview and end up not adopting a dog. We went with, for the purpose of this demonstration, we went with the perfect route of you answer the right question, you give all the right answers, and you adopt the dog. But there will be a lot of variety in the final game.
Also, as you have seen in the final moment, the Uncanny Granny, there would be some features with some NPCs who are evil.
Yes.
I love it.
Maybe don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, there you go. That's how leaks happen.
Ruin the surprise.
So, do you guys have any plans to adding some new interactions or activities that you can do with the dog, like fetch? Or play?
Of course, as we are using kind of real interactions in the real world, such as you saw in the teaser, there would be like cleaning the dog, feeding the dog, grooming the dog, and other more actions to play with the dog.
Oh. Any other questions?
Any other
Any other
questions?
questions?
So me, I would like to thank you first for this presentation.
Thank you.
I would like to hear more about the quantity, because like you have been a bit vague and I don't like it. So I want to more clear answer, like how many in your mind, how many dogs, how many dog owner, maybe the same, like how many?
The target is 7 dogs, as well as over 7 owners with over 7 correct owners for each dog, as we want no dog left behind, unless circumstances that the player imposes upon themselves does otherwise, with also 3 owners that are maybe not so good for any dog.
Yes.
And how long will take the game, like an entire, like to finish the game basically? How long do you imagine?
Well, artistically, I would say it would take about a month, maybe.
For the game. Yeah.
No, to play as a player.
As a player.
As a
player?
Oh, as
Maybe a month, but that's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the developer side, my bad. Yeah, it won't take a month to finish the game. However, since we plan on having 7 days With 3 phases, it should take about 2 hours.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, like, it does depend on, like, we're adding more content.
If it's longer, I think the current scope is probably closer to 30 minutes if you're just playing normally, but if you truly want to maximize everything, you could probably get 2 hours out of it.
Yeah. So mechanically, if it's a speed run, if you like choose all the right answers, I think it will take about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. But if you kind of struggle with the QT systems or with the dialogue systems, I think it'll take about 2 hours to 3 hours.
And if you want to bond with the dogs too, of course.
Yeah.
And could you tell us more about the dialogue? Because I see that, like, in your presentation, the dialogue system took a lot of time, like, in your presentation. So, like, are we limited in the term of dialogue? Because my understanding is that by discussing with the owner, you will be able to guess more accurately what kind of dog will be the best fit. But do you have any risk of doing so? Like, basically how the dialogue phase is working?
So as the dialogue phase, it connects with the happiness gauge of the system which you have maintained throughout the phase 1. And as the dog is happy or as the dog is not happy, it will impact the dialogue phase, which also has the dialogue gauge. You need to reach 100 to move on. So we actually, for the demonstration, since the dialogue was wrong, we kind of speed run through it so as we kind of like choose the right answers. But when you kind of choose the wrong answers, like based on the dog's happiness level, the wrong answers will deduct the progress bar of the dialogue, which could give you a bad output.
Essentially, there are 2 separate parts, the happiness gauge and the happiness gauge for the owner. They're 2 separate things.
Yeah.
Depending on the happiness gauge of the dog, it will increase progress for the owner.
So
Exactly.
yeah, if you looked at the bottom of the screen earlier, there was a little blue bar at the bottom that steadily increased as we answered the correct options, but if you answer the wrong questions, it'll decrease, and if it gets to 0, you fail.
This is like persuading the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they even want a dog in the first place. If they don't want a dog, then, like, you won't be convincing them of anything.
Okay, and the same kind of question for the first phase. So, like, why this gameplay of button mashing and I don't know, targeting, like something like pressing at the right moment. So how this gameplay fit with the interaction and the feeling you want to create? Why you choose that game?
Exactly, for the interaction phase. So as the tug of war, for instance, tug of war is actually pulling the tug towards the dog and pulling it against the dog. So we are using QT system, which kind of exactly shows the tug of war system is happening inside the game. We kind of aim to like connect with the real world and like such as giving the dog food. We're throwing dog foods to the dog and we need to match the dogs. So yeah, exactly.
It's
So
like trying
yeah.
to match up the dog's mood and willingness to have food with the dog.
Yes.
mhm.
It's meant to add a sense of realism and relating it to the real world, but also to add more dynamic to the gameplay beyond just strategy in the action system. It's meant to be so just because you invest in action in something does not mean you'll get the benefits of it. You have to be constantly paying attention to make sure you get those benefits. Otherwise, that dog may not find a home in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, summing up, we kind of make the player more involved inside the game, and this creates a bond between the dog and the player, which kind of enhances
Yeah.
the emotional responsibility.
Yeah, it's meant
That's
to.
my point actually.
Yeah.
Are you not scared to make it a bit too arcade and not a lot connected to the emotional, like, not to recreate the emotional connection with the dog that you want to create with the game? How you
So,
balance that, basically?
I mean, my opinion, one of the best ways you can connect with the dog is by, playing games with them that are actually fun, and playing is one of the best ways we connect with people, and I think, even if they are a little arcadey and gamified, playing little mini games with the dog and seeing it line up and get happy is, I think, a great way to bond with the dog and forge connection with them.
Okay, thank you. Two last questions. Do you have a plan to reach your target audience? How you will make people interested in that game meet that game? How you advertise your game, basically? Have you think about that? Really?
We have not discussed it, but I have thought about it. It has come up a few times. Not in a thorough discussion. I was thinking about maybe doing some Instagram promotion of material. I've also been spreading it through word of mouth.
We could upload a trailer to YouTube, share it around, try to spread it to as many people. Maybe find dog forums and spread it.
Okay, so my last question, what was the most difficult part in this first phase of the development, according to you? You can discuss like a few seconds before giving the answer.
I feel like communication was really good. I feel like we were really good at that.
I think we need to talk about two technical matters and hard matters. I don't ever talk about the technical difficulties we have. And one of us could talk about artistic difficulties. One of us could talk about
We just need to talk about one thing. Yeah.
For me, it was
Art was more time consuming rather than difficult.
For me, it was the role.
Okay, so you answer.
So, so actually our genre, so this course is a traditional game development game, and we were kind of using traditional game kind of aspects. But actually, firstly we kind of thought about the countdown. Action countdown was kind of the hardest thing to think about, because firstly we aimed to how could we make the player feel pressure? What's the obstacles inside the game? So first we thought about the timer countdown, but I think that's kind of too general these days, and it's kind of an old factor. So the new one we kind of developed was the action countdown, to use actions, how to strategically use action, and what kind of bad outputs could come when you use the wrong action to the dog. And actually making obstacles, I think that was the hardest part to discuss about and to bring out ideas.
Okay, thank you. Any more question? Any other question?
Yes.
You know, the highly saturated market of indie games releasing left and right, what would you say is the main selling point of the game, and which audience do you cater towards?
We are, well, the main selling point of this game is definitely the serious subject matter presented in a very cute and aesthetically pleasing form. And it would cater the most towards an audience that enjoys these this cute aesthetics, but also enjoys narrative and deep conversations and like conflicting like incentives, because like you can't prioritize every dog at 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just curious that if the dog fails to get adopted, what happens to the dog in the school?
They get you.
That consequence actually.
Yeah.
It's a pound, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Those are the stakes. Your dog,
Yeah.
the dog's life is on the line.
So that's the dark message we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like unfortunately, like these dogs are really cute, but they're constantly having to deal with the fact that like it's a very competitive, like
Yeah.
you know.
Actually, I have a question about that. Sorry, I said it was the last. How you decided to treat that in your game? It's not yet visible now, but how will you treat that? Like, it's just a message, or it's not even a message, or do you have like, how you treat that? How you?
So we have like a few options. It's rough, and it was just in the brainstorming. For the first one, we could just build up an image of the cute dog, the sad image, the sad sprite of the cute dog like dying and being euthanized. Or we could build up another kind of face that kind of implies that the dog is in another place, heaven or place like that. Yeah.
I mean, I did draw a depiction of the shelter owner with a dog who has passed. It was in the presentation.
Yeah.
I do not plan on actually depicting the euthanization actively happening, but it will be along those lines, that it will be clear what is going on.
Yeah.
Also, one less right for the game engine to render.
Yes, it's very important. But come on, you wouldn't let this dog die. It's so cute.
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all for this year. It's as I said, it's a really short vertical slice, but I hope you enjoyed online. I see that the stream was not that great at the beginning because they decided to put the streaming computer in the same time as our presentation, but I think the second part is work well, so I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next semester for the next presentation. Once again, I want to give a strong clap for the presenter, for the visitor first, and then for the presenter that did a really good job. Thank you. Thank you. So you can go to the bathroom because you have the second session of command and Q&A. The one that is not recorded.